Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome back to Sparxe' 2-key event. We are down to our final 3 matches of this round of 32 weekend. We got TomisNotGood versus alemagno333 happening right now, and then those last 2 matches will be happening at a later time. But for now, we gotta focus on this match. I am Arizona. Commentating along with me is gonna be Sparky. Sparky, how's it going?
It's going absolutely fantastic. Excited to be here. Glad to see the round of 32 coming to a pretty peaceful close here, as looks like both players already getting into the bans here, not even bothering with the warm-ups. You love to see it. We're going to see an instant Hybrid 1 and LN2 ban. These folks are ready to go here, ready to throw down on these 2 key maps.
Yeah, they are absolutely locked and loaded. They're already... are they getting into the first pick already? No, okay, no. It's honestly, I'm not surprised that Hybrid 1 does get the ban hammer on this pool. I mean, that has been quite the trend if it's not for the SV pick. Hybrid 1 definitely has its tricks up its sleeve, especially that really awkward trill that I think follows like that really uncomfortable jack section where you're like transitioning out from like those like double jacks into like one-handed on like each side. It's really uncomfortable. But I'm surprised LN2's getting the ban. Normally it's the other way around. Normally it's the long note one as far as I've seen.
Yeah, it might be one of those cases where it's a bit of a remove the easier picks in the pool and kind of overwhelm the opponent with physicality type of picks. Rice 1 would have also been a good proponent for that theory. But regardless, it could also just be comfort levels or maybe not liking the song. But players have their reasons, they don't want to play it, so we're not. LN2 has been removed, and right now we're just waiting for that first pick. That looks like Tom is going to be up to pick first. They won the roll 83-73, so one of the closer rolls we've had this weekend. So excited to see what they decide to go into here.
Yeah, and also going on your topic about like preference, maybe it's just like one of those preferences like, yeah, I hate LN, so I'm just gonna pick a random map and just pray that my opponent does the same and just doesn't care for the LN. I would not be surprised if most of this match is in the top half of the map pool, like especially with Tom. Oh, we're actually gonna see an SV
Nice.
right out of the get-go.
Yeah, this has been, dare I say, the most popular pick of this weekend, which, to be fair, going into a joke tournament, never would I have thought that the SV pick would be one of the more preferred picks in a pool. It's usually the #1 ban every week on command, but this one's really good. Not that the other ones were bad, but people really like this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's most definitely what the people want. It's a very simple chart with a very simple gimmick that's pretty easy to get down. I'd say maybe 10 minutes of looking into the editor, playing certain sections, nailing it down to a T. And not to mention that it's just shy of a minute and a half, so it's at a very decent length too. And we're already starting off with this map. TomisNotGood having a bit of a rough start there, hitting a bit late on those teleport sections. But we just started off this map. There are still many more of these patterns to go as we pass through another one. Finding a lot more 200s on that one too.
Yeah, just anticipating some of these teleports and memorization sections just a little bit of a delay as well. The rhythm can get a little tricky during the second memorization section, but now it's just pure slowdown, so an opportunity for Tom to begin rebuilding their accuracy. Alemagno on the other side, though, going into the back half of the map, looking pretty strong, 99.6% for them going into this next section, and these memorization sections not really tripping them up all that much. A couple of 300s here and there, but so far 40,000 points to the good just based on the accuracy alone, despite both players holding on to their FCs.
Yeah, both players both have their full combos intact. It's just TomisNotGood finding a more myriad of bad judgments compared to Alemagno. I would imagine that they are currently on like maybe a 3-200 run. I did see a few come by on those more slow jam based sections, and we are running out of time with a less than 50,000 point lead that just crosses over. There's not much map left outside of these jacks and one final part of these teleports, and that's pretty much going to be the map. Alemagno just shy of a 990.
Oh wow. Could have sworn there were some 200s there, but a V1 double S performance from Alemagno to get that first breakpoint here and instantly going for the Rice 2 pick. Are we on the cards for a bit of an upset here in terms of the seeding? It is a 13 versus 20 showdown, and Alemagno really stepping up to the plate here to get that first breakpoint.
Yeah, it's a bit interesting. I mean, this isn't our first rodeo with upsets. We have seen a few upsets in the past. You're actually a victim of an upset. Actually, you took down the higher seed in your match.
I mean, it was by one. Let's be real.
But it's technically an upset.
Technically,
still counts. But there's also one of, I believe, one that went to a tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I would consider that an upset, even though that's a 3 seed difference.
Yeah, this one a little bit wider, and Tom picking up the first drop here in the second pick. Alemagno deciding to go for arguably the trickiest Rice chart in this pool. Maybe not the most physically demanding if you count in the speed with it, but definitely one that many would consider to be very technically demanding. The snaps varying and undulating throughout the entirety of the 2-minute 20-second run length, and right now looking extremely comfortable despite Tom's approach back up to that 99% mark. But as I say that, finding another drop, maybe the scroll speed a little bit too fast, and they're starting to trip up on the overall density as it begins to pick up. But for right now, Alemagno going to take advantage. 99.6 for them, 30,000 points to the good here.
Yeah, as those 2 misses do affect TomisNotGood pretty badly. Right now, Alemagno was on a really good run, especially, like you said, how pretty much these snappings are all over the place. There are some 1/3s here that, like, they're pretty much just all over the place, and plus seeing how you're balancing mini jacks on both hands, and also these very fast shows that basically, honestly, just the timing itself is already making it one of the more harder Rice picks. Rice 1 is more or less just like a mini jack frenzy, while this one is a pretty much just like a hell of just trying to just time your notes, and then Rice 3 would, like you said, would be the more physically demanding one. And Tom finding another break near the tail end of this speed map. It's not really going to matter since Alemagno is pretty much in the driver's seat with this right now. Even that miss from them, that's not really going to do much. And 970 from Alemagno plus that one miss, not too shabby.
Yeah, pretty clean run overall. Unfortunate to find a choke at the end, but the damage is already done. Tom, for their best efforts, not too far behind in terms of overall 300 count, but the couple of slip-ups here and there, able to keep those misses relatively clean. We've seen how good that can be in these styles of events, especially harkening back to the 1-key days, where if you're able to keep the misses overall very clean and you're not dropping too many bad judgments afterwards, it can kind of get you through. But with a performance like that from Alemagno, there's really not much Tom could have done there once the first couple of misses started to come out. And on the blue side, able to capitalize on that break point, 0-2 to start this match off.
Yeah, that is probably the best start. And oh boy, we're getting into the speed pick.
All right.
This is the first time I'm seeing this speed pick. Normally, it's either like banned as soon as the player gets the option to ban, or it's just completely avoided. And oh my goodness, 230 BPM. That's like basically just saying Cerno's perfect math class and Rice 3 are nothing compared to what this is.
Yeah, definitely pushing the envelope in terms of overall speed. Thankfully, the patterns are pretty forgiving. It's just those little 1/8 bursts that come in at you that really push the intensity, physicality requirement of this pick. And Tom looking to try and bounce back here. It was a pretty good showing on the SV pick and the first Rice pick, but now this is really all cards on the table. No more holding back if they want to try and get back into this. And let's see if they can pull something out here.
Right now, it's actually working out pretty well in Tom's favor, even with that pretty nasty trill that does kind of date to Cernal's Perfect Math class. They actually have the better accuracy by quite a margin. Alemagno was down in that low 98 range. As you can see in that unstable rate, they are hitting pretty early on these LNs as well. That definitely can be a case. Hitting these trills, both players get by pretty normally. And even though Tom is not good, finding some pretty bad judgments here on these jacks, that's gonna swing the lead over to Alemagno.
Yeah, trade through that long jack section, but I think Tom was kind of sacrificing the accuracy to try and hold up to the combo, but it's not going to work out as we transition into the back half. Another couple of misses coming through as those doubles begin to rain down, forcing you to really try not to bottom out the keys that you're using, and unfortunately going to be slipping in terms of their overall score. And Alemagno takes it advantage, 27,000 points now going into the last third, and looking very comfortable now that the worst of it is over.
Yeah, now that there's not really much outside of these long jack sections, with, of course, and some of these trills still there too. I mean, technically, Alemagno is not really out of the woods just yet. There are some tricky speed sections up this map's sleeve, but the map is slowly but surely draining out, and that lead also increasing after every single note that gets hit from Alemagno. So even if Alemagno were to find like the world's worst act drop, it wouldn't matter, and that's putting Alemagno in a really good spot right now, already up 3-0 and on a break point too.
That is insane. Like early on, Tom did really good to try and hold on to the advantage, but as soon as that first section of long jacks where the triplets start to come through, it really just started to collapse there from their side, and Alemagno took all advantage. That being said, Alemagno saying that they're out of picks that they're comfortable with, which is very odd to say. These were the most physical picks in the pool, and they made them look, dare I say, easy as they go into race 3.
Yeah, but this is where things can definitely take a turn, either for the better or for the worse. What's better than going into a physically demanding pick? Going into another physically demanding pick.
Yes, but thankfully this one much slower than our speed pick. It is still physically demanding, but if you have the technique down, or if you have the wrist capability to handle some of these long jacks, this could be a very... It could very easily devolve into a sharpshooting battle.
Yeah, thankfully it's only 132 ppm, so it's not the fastest in the world, but also consistency is key, because it's mainly just going to be these long jacks for practically the entire map, and this map goes on for quite a hefty amount of time. So you really need to stay focused and consistent for 3 minutes and 12 seconds. And right now it is pretty nail-biting between these two, as their accuracies are relatively tied, but Tom finding a miss on that transition into the double-handed jacks, and that will put Alemagno in a little bit of a comfortable position, ahead by roughly 11,000 points, but we just got out of the first quarter of this map. Still much to go.
Yeah, it's when the build-up brings back those long strings of 2-note chords where you're at your most vulnerable. If you find even the tiniest hiccup in terms of your timing, you just throw that entire section away. And Tom, unfortunately, finding it out firsthand as they find yet another drop. The lead grows for Alemagno, but they find trade back, and it's a tiny window of opportunity for Tom with half the map still left to go. They are not out of this just yet.
Yeah, but that was definitely one miss too short, as I believe you're going to have to get 2 or 3 more if you want to fairly trade those misses from Tom, but still, that is one, and Tom is looking to make a hefty comeback. They are almost about to reach that 99 caliber, and you still have this back half of the map to go, so it can definitely be just maybe preying on your opponent to do more mistakes like that, and it is definitely possible. But Tom, that's not going to help them at all in trying to redeem this 20,000, near 30,000 point differential as they find a miss.
This is the next break point. These long jack transitions on the one hand with the doubles thrown in just for good measure. Any slip up here could also chain into a collapse of numerous amounts of points, but with a 30,000 point cushion, I think Alemagno has enough to scrape by if they were to find a drop, but they're handling these transitions so well. Even as Tom is starting to climb back up to that 400 combo cap, it might be too little too late with only an eighth of the chart left to go. Back up to that 99% mark and trying to make a dent, trying to avoid the sweep here, but Alemagno has had their number this entire match so far from the looks of it.
Yeah, they have been in the driver's seat ever since that first drop from Tom, and now there are no signs of slowing down from Alemagno. They are absolutely pioneering to the end of this map, and the final long notes play in, and as that playfield disappears, Alemagno is going to pull up an upset, sweeping Tom, and only one miss in 3 200s.
That is an insane performance. That rivals some of the mid to top seeds in this tournament. Like, that is a very competitive score, and they're going to move on to the round of 16 in the winners bracket. Tom, not eliminated from this tournament just yet, but will have to make that run in the losers bracket. What a performance from both of these players.
Yeah, absolutely shocking performance, and definitely not the outcome that we were expecting. But it does happen. Alemagno has punched their ticket into the winners round of 16 to put up a match against Basil next week.
All right.
Well, like you said, Tom is not out of the woods just yet. They will drop down into that losers bracket to verse Dimple's Army next week. But that is going to be a match. If you recall from One Key World Cup, Basil put up an insanely good effort throughout that tournament, and they are returning for another edition of a sort of joke-related tourney, and I am willing to bet that will be a match to definitely pay attention to. But now there are only 2.
Yep, it's going to be Ahiru Noyo versus Dinky. In about 42 minutes, we're going to go ahead and shut things down here, but after that, we'll have Sleepy Maddie going up against Ella Scob to round out the weekend. Then after that, we'll put together a time for the round of 16 showcase. We don't have a time confirmed for that just yet, but as soon as we do, we'll be sure to let you guys know so that you can see what you're going to be going up against next weekend. But until then, we're going to go ahead and shut things down, and we'll catch y'all later.
See ya!